You don't want love, you want to be picked so you feel worthy. Let me start with a sentence that is going to make someone uncomfortable, defensive, maybe even angry, but that's good. Discomfort is the doorway to self-awareness. Now here it is. Most people who swear they are searching for love are actually searching for validation. They don't want connection. They want confirmation. They don't want partnership. They want permission to feel worthy. And the wildest part, most people have absolutely no idea they are doing this. They think they are hopeless romantics or loyal lovers or ride or die partners, when in truth, they are running around with a hole inside them and hoping someone else will plug it. So today I'm breaking down these into three deep transformative points that will expose what's really going on beneath the surface. And by the end of this, you will understand why your relationships haven't worked, why you attach too fast, why you cling too hard, and why you accept far less than you deserve. Not because you're weak, not because you're broken, but because the version of you looking for love isn't actually looking for love at all. Now let's get into it. The first point is you don't want love. You want to be chosen so you can stop feeling invisible. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. When most people say, I just want someone to love me, what they really mean is, I want someone to choose me so I finally feel like I matter. It's not love they are chasing, it's visibility. Because somewhere along the line, maybe childhood, maybe your first heartbreak, maybe a toxic relationship, you internalize the belief that you are only valuable if someone wants you. You are only lovable if someone picks you. You are only worthy if you are desired. So now you're an adult walking around with a kid's wound, but the wound has learned how to dress itself in a grown-up language. You don't say, I am desperate for someone to make me feel like I am worth something. You say, I just want love. But your behavior exposes the truth, and you know it does. Now let's look at the signs and tell me if any of these sound like you. First, you fall for people who show you the tiniest bit of attention. Two, you confuse intensity with intimacy. You stay in situations where you're treated like options, but the idea of living terrifies you more. You chase emotionally unavailable people because their eventual approval will feel like a victory. You constantly wonder what's wrong with you when someone doesn't choose you. See, when you're craving validation instead of love, your mind turns every romantic interaction into a test. You are not thinking, do I like this person? How this person treats me? You're thinking, am I enough for them to stay? You're not asking, does this relationship feed my soul? You're asking, did I perform well enough to be valued? You're not seeking a partner. You're seeking a verdict. And here's the deepest truth. You don't want the person. You want what their approval represents. Their interest symbolizes that you are finally worth something. Their attention feels like proof that you weren't a mistake. Their validation acts like a bandage on years of feeling overlooked and abandoned. This is why losing someone hurts so deeply. Not because the relationship was deeply compatible, but because losing them feels like you losing your worth all over again. You aren't grieving the connection, you aren't grieving the identity you built around being chosen. And if this is you, I want you to understand this. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to heal it. Because when your desire for love is actually a cry for worthiness, you will settle for any scrap of attention that feels like recognition. You will beg for crumbs and call it a meal. You will mistake chaos for passion and neglect for neglect for loyalty. You will love people who do not love you because you're not actually in love with them. You are in love with the idea that maybe, just maybe, they will finally make you feel like enough. But let me tell you something you've probably never heard. Being chosen by someone else is not the same as being worthy. Love can be lost, people can leave, but worthiness is internal, untouchable, unshakable, unconditional. The minute you stop equating being picked with being valuable, your entire dating life transforms. Not because better people suddenly show up, but because you stop tolerating anything but mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual emotional investment. And now we move to the second point, because this goes even deeper. Now the second point is this: you think you are loyal, but you're just attached to a fantasy of being enough. A lot of people label themselves as loyal lovers. They say, when I love hard. I don't give up easy. I always fight for my relationships. Sounds noble, right? Sounds mature, responsible, admirable, but often it's none of those things. Often it's something much darker, much quieter, much more painful. You're not loyal to the person. You're loyal to the fantasy that if you love hard enough, someone will finally stay. You're not fighting for the relationship. You're fighting for the happy ending you were denied in the past. You're not afraid to lose them. You're afraid to lose the idea that this time you might finally be enough. This is why you stick around when the red flags are practically doing a parade in front of your face. This is why you rationalize behavior that will make your friends shake their heads. This is why you keep giving chance after chance to people who have proven they are not capable of loving you well enough. Because in your mind, walking away feels like failure. It feels like confirmation that you weren't worth fighting for. It feels like proof that the narrative you feared, I am not lovable, was true all along. And so you stay. You cling, you overgive, you beg with your actions, even with your words, stay silent. This isn't loyalty, this is emotional survival mode. Let me break that down. When you equate love with worthiness, relationships stop being spaces of connection and become stages where you perform your value. You try to be the perfect partner, the one who never complains, the one who forgives everything, the one who is endlessly patient, the one who absorbs disrespect, the one who sacrifices themselves to keep the peace. And what do you get in return? Burnout, resentment, overthinking, heartbreak. Because the harder you try to earn love, the more you teach people that you don't require it to be reciprocated. Let that sink in. When love becomes performance, you become replaceable. Anyone who tries hard enough could take your place. That is not love. That is emotional self-erasure. So here's the truth you need to hear. Healthy love does not require emotional gymnastics. If someone is meant to be in your life, they meet you halfway without having to be chased, convinced, or tolerated. Healthy love is reciprocal. Healthy love is consistent. Healthy love doesn't ask you to bleed just to prove you're worthy. So if you've been carrying the identity of the loyal one, I want you to question this. Are you loyal because you actually love the person? Or are you loyal because you're addicted to the fantasy of finally being enough for somebody? Because if you're clinging to a fantasy, not relationship, healthy or toxic, will ever satisfy you. You won't recognize healthy love. You won't trust it. You will sabotage it. You will drown it with insecurity. Not because you don't deserve it, but because you've never learned to receive love without earning it. And that brings us to the third point, the one that can actually free you. Now, the third point is real love starts the moment you stop begging for permission to feel worthy. Here's the truth. Most people avoid it because it feels too heavy, too revealing, too raw. You can't experience real love while you're starving for validation. When your self-worth depends on being chosen, love becomes distorted. You can't receive love. You hunt it. You can't nurture love. You grip it. You can't build love. You cling to whoever shows up. Real love requires something you've spent your whole life running from. Self-worth that exists independently of romantic attention. Until you develop that, romance will feel like a battlefield and you will either be the one chasing or the one hiding. So how do you break this pattern? How do you transform from someone who needs to be picked to someone who chooses from a place of empowerment? Now, let me give you the blueprint, and I am going deep here. So the first thing is you must separate your identity from the relationship status. You're not a failure because someone didn't choose you. You are not unlovable because something ended. You're not flawed because someone didn't appreciate you. Their choice is not your identity. Their rejection is not your reflection. Secondly, you must stop confusing effort with love. Overgiving is not love. Sacrifice is not love. Suffering is not loyalty. Healthy love feels like peace, not panic. Like warmth, not anxiety. Like consistency, not chaos. Thirdly, you must learn to validate yourself before you seek validation from others. Because the person who loves themselves does not beg to be chosen. They choose. They select. They decide. A self-worthy person does not chase love. They recognize it when it shows up. So number 4, you must stop trying to heal childhood wounds with adult relationships. No partner can reparent you. No relationship can erase abandonment. No romance can undo trauma. Healing is your work, not your partner's responsibility. When you heal yourself, relationships stop being survival mechanisms and become genuine connections. Number 5, you must learn to walk away with dignity, not desperation. Leaving a painful relationship is not losing love, it is choosing yourself. Walking away is not weakness, it is wisdom. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you teach your brain, I am worthy of more than this. And once your mind believes that, your entire life changes. Your entire life changes. Now, let me leave you with this one. You were never meant to spend your life begging to be picked. You were never meant to shrink yourself to earn affection. You were never meant to prove your worth to anyone. Love is not a trophy for performing well. Love is not a reward for suffering. Love is not something you earn by being chosen. Love is something you share with someone who is equally capable of sharing it with you. So if you've spent your entire life chasing validation instead of connection, this is your wake-up call. Stop trying to be chosen. Start choosing yourself. Because the moment you shift from craving validation to living in your worth, you stop chasing people. And you start attracting people who recognize your value without needing to be convinced. That is where real love begins.